Hello Stampers, this is Kate with Kate's Creations, ready to share with you my monthly paper pumpkin alternative videos. Actually just video, just going to show you one this month, but I do have 6 cards I think. I am using the kit from June, excuse me, that just came out, and it is take your pick, I think, or you're the pick of the crop or something like that. And so I'll be showing you some alternatives from that, and then I want to tell you about next month. This is July, Sending Good Thoughts, and that's going to be kind of fun. There's a little quiz you can play to earn a free kit and some different things, so be sure and check my description box below. I'll put a link to that in there for you. Okay, and we will get started. Hopefully I can remember everything I did. We'll see how it goes here. So, see if I can figure out card number 1. Okay, I think this is the one. So, for this card, I used one of the card fronts that's in the kit, just like it is. Cut it apart because it's got a front and a back. The back of these was kind of the Flirty Flamingo color, and I cut it in half. So this piece is now 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, which is what we're using for a base card, basic white thick, 4 1/4, or yeah, 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. And so this is just going to go on here like this and cover the entire front. And we will be using Stamp and Seal for that. They don't put Stamp and Seal in your kit, they put glue dots. That will work too. You can just put one on, one on each corner and maybe one on each side. Doesn't need a lot in order to fit. I'm going to match it up to the edge of the front here so we get a good clean edge. There it is. And there's the front of the card. Then what I did is I used one of the stems from the kit, and then I reached into past kits. Now Stampin' Up! Provides a case cover for each of the paper pumpkin kits that comes out, and I will have a link for that also below in the description. And you can print them out and put them in a regular standard stamp case, and then they're marked for what month and what the title was and everything else. And I keep those on a separate spot on my shelf. And then when I am doing alternatives, I start to look back to what kits we've had so that we can use pieces and parts of those to make new alternatives. So if you've been subscribed for a while, you've probably got some other ink spots that you can use, other colors, and you've probably got lots of different sentiments, maybe some different designs that could be stamped, and so on. So that's what I've done here. And so these butterflies, we're going to stamp them on just some plain basic white, or you could use the white side of one of the cards that you're cutting apart for your alternatives. But I'm just going to use some white here, and Calypso Coral is the coral color that came with the kit, and I'm just using my regular large stamp pad, but you have yours in the kit. Okay, and I got mine a little too juicy, so I am pulling back some of the color here because I got it just a little too colorful. And I'm going to stamp this butterfly and this butterfly. And these came from Change is Beautiful, which was the April kit. I'm also going to be using the stem from Beyond the Horizon. It has this stem Can you see that okay? Right there. And I'm stamping it with Soft Succulent, which is one of the colors in the kit. And I want 2 of them, so I'm going to stamp 2 of those. And then we're going to cut those out. I should have probably pre-done that so this video wouldn't get too long, but I didn't think to do that. So we'll try and get them done as quickly as we can here. And sometimes I leave white around the edges, and sometimes I don't. And so on the butterflies, I did not leave a white edge around. I cut right next, partly because it's not so delicate. It's easy to do when they're not really delicate, and a lot of different curves and stuff. Now they do have the little antennas, and if those are important to you, you'll have to work around those, but it's really not too bad. And I start by just going across like this, and I'll come back and touch up the little pieces here in a minute. And so it really doesn't take that long to do, and hopefully, yeah, we can get it done quickly enough that we don't drag out for too long, because I've got quite a few cards. If it gets too long, I may stop and make another video for the rest of them. We'll see how it goes. See how our time goes. Okay, and I'm just gonna, and then I just cut down between them 2 little antennas very carefully, and there's my large butterfly. And then we'll do the small one. And I didn't even try to separate those antennae on this one. I just left it between them. And round and around and around we go. Today I am in beautiful Sequim, Washington. Beautiful place. Olympic Peninsula. We actually had some sunshine today, which is rather nice. Let's come up around this way. Haven't had much. It's been a really slow spring. Okay, there's those, and then the leaves. And on these stems, I mean, I did cut these out, leaving a white edge like it would look if you had used it with a die. And just kind of followed the shape of the leaves. It's not hard to do. And so yeah, there's a little bit of fussy cutting here to make this card, but it's worth it. It looks very nice. I have to confess, there was one card in this set that I really liked, and you'll see which one that is in a moment. But there were some things in here that I just, well, if I'm gonna be honest, I thought they were pretty ugly. You know, but everybody's taste is different, and you don't have to like or not like anything. It's totally up to you. But I will show you what I thought of certain pieces. I didn't show you the whole kit. If you're a subscriber, you've got that, and you know what you've got in the kit. This front that I'm using now for this card was my favorite front piece. And I'd have been happy if they'd have given me all 9 of them in that design. Probably. Maybe. And because it is beautiful, and it could be very easily, actually quite easily imitated to some degree using your blending brushes if you've got other colors, because you've got So Saffron and Flirty Flamingo in here, and, or no, excuse me, Calypso Coral in here, and Soft Succulent colors, and you could use your blending brushes and create a very similar background. Very similar background. Okay, so, oh, I made 3 of them. Okay, so then I just took one of these and I put it on flat right here at the line that is on the card. And then I took this stem and this one and both butterflies, and I am going to pop them up. And you got mini dimensionals in your kit that you can do this with. that. And this just added some dimension to the card. That little butterfly gets one, so it doesn't show. And then on this butterfly right here, I cut a side piece off, really skinny, and just put a little piece on the body part so that the wings didn't stick down. And I just put that right there on the body of the butterfly. Get that to stay in place. Peel that one off. Cooperate. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and just stick that on there. It's just going to go kind of up here. And there's butterfly number 1. Okay. And then I put this one on, the stem with the beautiful purple flowers. This was one of my favorite punch outs in the kit. I liked it very well. I could have been happy with a dozen of those. And unfortunately, did not have a dozen of them. And then this one went on over that and created some more dimension like that. And little butterfly went on here. Oh, put him on the right way, like that. And then I made a bow, and this was some ribbon left over from a previous kit, and I can't remember which one it was, but I saved the ribbon, and I'm going to make a bow out of that. Cut it way too long for what I'm going to use it for, but oh well. I'd rather have it be easy for you to see and easy to make than to fight with it. And I'm going to stick that on with mini glue dots that they have in the kit. Find my pokey tool that I used to do that with. And I'm going to just stick it on the back of the ribbon and peel it off. And I'm going to put 2 of them on there just to make sure it sticks really good. Get the backing off of that one. There we go. And then I'm just going to put that right there at the bottom of the, there we go. And then I took the Thinking of You, and Thinking of You, I believe, was in the kit. I'm not sure. And again, I'm using the Calypso Coral that came with the kit, the same color. And I am just going to stamp that right on the card front itself. No tags or anything, just like that. And there's card number 1. Attached and ready to go. Now, card number 2. Again, I used a basic white thick base. And I've got to find it here, because then I cut, I'm not real sure, my cards got out of order and I'm not real sure which one I did next, but it was from one of the card fronts. I think it was this one. I took, there was a blue card in the, with this checkerboard in the middle. I cut the checkerboard out and used the back side of the card for the cover, cut 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so it covers the whole front of a basic white card base. I put this on here flat with Stampin' Seal on a diamond shape. I stamped another butterfly and cut it out here. And let's see, we'll get my pieces so I can show you what I'm talking about. So here's the back of the card that had the blue on the back and the picture on the front. It was blue stripes, I believe, and then it had this little checkerboard, looks like a little tablecloth or a napkin in the center. And I cut the black back off to fit the front of the card and cover the entire front of the card. I'm going to go from this side because I think, we'll see how it fits, but I think it came up just, yeah, it worked fine. Okay. And then, like I said, I took this one and put it on at an angle. So it looks like a diamond shape. Just like this. And I think that's high enough. And then here's that butterfly, and I'll cut it out. And again, that's from a previous kit. So yeah, that's why it's good to put your kits into a case. The standard cases are available in the catalog. I think it's $6 for 4 of them. They're not super expensive, and it just works really great. Sometimes I have pieces left over, and I'll stick those in there as well, sentiment tags or whatever, and then I can pull them out and use them up. So there's the butterfly. It doesn't really matter where it goes. Then I used one of the vellum little tags, and I stamped with the Calypso Coral ink on this, and I pre-stamped this because on vellum our regular inks take a while to dry, and I wanted to make sure it was dry before we built the card. So that's been stamped and let dry. And this is one of the tags in the kit we'll be using. And then this is one of the card fronts, and I just did not like it. Sorry, I didn't like it. So what I did is I cut this part off, and this part, yeah, and this part off. Like that. And then I only wanted this section here, so then I cut it here, straight up. And that's going to go right here. So it's just a portion of the box showing. Then I took these berries, and I could have left them attached, but I wanted them to have just a little bit different depth to them. So I'm cutting them out separate. And I'm going to attach them to the back of the piece I just cut. And it just looks a little bit different. And I really liked the way it came out. So I did have one already cut here. Yeah, let's use this one. There we go. Because these are the blueberries I'm going to use too. And this card is pretty much 100% from the kit. There's nothing else other than the basic white card base. This card is 100% from the kit, and yet it's a little bit different than what the kit had to offer. And you need to comment and let me know, why do you subscribe to Paper Pumpkin? Do you do it because you like the challenge of trying to make something different and having the challenge of materials and making something totally different than what is prescribed for the kit? Or do you get it because you like the kits and don't want to have to think? You want to just do it exactly the way the kit says, and that, or, you know, so let me know. I'd be curious to know. Now I'm going to cut out some of these, get a hold of it. I'm going to cut out some of these berries as well. Let's see, I think I'm going to start here and cut down this way. And again, I'm cutting away all of the white. I'm not leaving any of the white around. And I'm even cutting some of the color away as well, because I just wanted the berries. And actually, I'm going to stop right there, and you can see where I came around here. I didn't use all of the berries. That's all I kept of the berries. It's just like that. Okay, then I did 2 of the stems, and these are in the kit, and I stamped them onto basic white. And I've got to get my piece here, find a scrap, with the Calypso Coral, just like this. And then I am going to cut those out. So a little bit of fussy cutting in my kits today, in my alternatives. And again, just leaving a little bit of white around it. Makes it quick to cut, easy to attach. Not any different than when you use your die cuts from other kits. And you know what I mean. So I'm getting through this one pretty quick. Get rid of some stuff out of my way so I can cut better. Okay, there's one. Get this other one. Now, if I could get just a part of a kit, I probably would like this. This is a nice looking little stem, and stamped in different colors, and maybe colored in the flowers with other things, and that it would probably look really, really cute in other applications. And we may get other opportunities for that as I save kits and use items from past kits. I mean, if that's all you're doing and you don't want to buy a bunch of other Stampin' Up! Stuff, that works. Okay, we've got all our pieces, so let's build the card. So I've already got this part on there. I'm going to put this on there, and I want these to be just slightly behind, like that, and I'm going to end up squaring that off. So I'm going to put just a little bit of a little line of glue right along the edge of this, and then I'm going to stick this to it. Just like that. And then this whole thing's going to get dimensionals on it. And I do have some regular size dimensionals, and I'm going to use them for this. But the minis would work fine too. I think there was some regular ones in the kit. And I'm not going clear out to the edge here because this is going to get trimmed off. So that's why I'm not supporting that little section there. And just lining this up with the side of the card, just like that. And then we'll turn it over and I'll trim off that extra. Just like that. So there's the berries. Then these 2 pieces just went on flat, and I'm going to use my glue pen again to do that. And I'm just going to tuck them in. There's one, and there's another. Then this strawberry with the blueberry attached, it's going to go on flat with just Stampin' Seal. And it's going to sit right over here, just like that. And then these blueberries are going on with dimensionals. So I did kind of, I don't know, I had a hard time liking the, I'm going to use a mini dimensional right there. Oh, probably didn't need a dimensional on that. Let me peel that off and just put some Stampin' Seal on there, because that overlaps the piece that's already raised up. And so then I added those. And then the tag, I put some Stampin' Seal just on this little portion right here. And I'm just going to tuck it behind the berries a little bit. And that's the only thing that's going to hold that in place. And there's card number 2. Next card, I will do this one. Now this is almost exactly, if not exactly, like the card in the kit. This is how they did it, and this is all they did. But I did cut the front from the back, so I'd have those extra pieces to use for other cards. And then these cute little carts were in the card, and I liked these. These were really adorable. And I'm going to attach it with dimensionals. And again, I'm using full-size dimensionals, which I believe are in the kit. And this one is not very much of a deviation at all from the kit. This is one of the cards in the kit that I really, really liked. And they just put it on here about like so. There we go. Then they stamped the sentiment, and I used a sentiment called A Little Note, and it came from the January Paper Pumpkin, I believe. And again, just stamped it with Calypso Coral right in the center, just like that. And then I just attached it flat on top of the card, just like that. And there's card number 3. Okay, next, let's do, yeah, let's do this one next. And this is the finished card. I probably should have been bringing those up for you from the start. And I need one of the tags from the kit. Let me see if I can find one real quick here. Not sure what I did with my tag. Oh, well. Okay. I can't find it right now, but we'll make it work. Okay, so this was the back of one of the blue cards again. This is cut down to 4 by 5 1/4, so it leaves that 1/8 inch border all the way around, and it just goes on flat. I had one blue card back saved and one green back still saved, and so that's why this card's going to have blue instead of green, because I only had one green one to make my sample, and then I'm using the blue to make the one that you get to see. So you get to see it in 2 different colors. And we will put this on the front of the card. And again, it has the 1/8 inch border all the way around. I'll get that laid down. Just like that. Now this is going to go this way. This is from the inside of the envelopes. I cut an envelope apart, and I cut this piece, and it is 4 1/2 by 3 1/4, and it's just going to go on flat, centered, just like that. Just like that. Then I took the cart and I cut it apart, and I'll be using some different parts for different things. And I cut out the 2 pots of flowers, and I am just going to put this piece on flat like that. And so we'll just run a piece of Stampin' Seal along the thing, and we're going to put it right here so its wheels touch the bottom, just like that. And then these are the 2 flower pots that I cut out, just so you can see from the original card. These are the 2 flower pots that were just part of the original card. And I'm going to stick this one down flat, so it looks like it's just sitting on the card. And then I'm going to put dimensionals behind this one. Find my things get away from me. And it really only needs one. And it's going to sit there just like that, kind of overlapping just a little bit, which leaves room for the sentiment tag. And somehow I've lost my sentiment tag, but you can see the original, so you know where it goes. And that is card number 3 or 4, whichever one I'm on. Okay, the next card, I used another piece of this card, and I took this part and I looked at it upside down and I go, that could be a planter. So I took and cut that piece off, that card that I was cutting apart for the other card. I cut this off, just like that. And this was one of the card fronts that I cut down, and it is actually now 3.5 by 4 3/4. And it's going to look like, get my piece here. Well, first we'll just put this on the card front, just like this. So this is just going to go on the card front flat. Again, it's one of the backs of cards, because I pretty much always cut my cards apart, especially if the backs have color, because then that gives me more options of designs that I can make. And sometimes I have them cover the whole front, and sometimes I don't. In this particular case, I am covering the entire front of the card. No borders. And then I've already told you the size of this one. Let's make sure I make it right side up. And it's going to go in the center. Here's the original. And this is just going to go in the center right here, like this. And it's going down flat. So some basics, if you're going to be buying the kits to make alternatives, some basics that you need. Stampin' Seal, you'll need some of that. Basic white thick cardstock to make new bases with, so that when you cut your original cards apart, you've got something to attach them to. Those are a couple of basics that you need. Okay, there's that. Then I'm bringing in that stem again, and I'm going to be stamping some of that on. And I'm taking this piece, and I'm going to just put some Stampin' Seal across the back of it to stick the stems to. Now, I have to confess, there are not enough stems to do these last 2 cards that I'm showing you. I stamped, scanned, brought them into my Silhouette, and made some more stems so I could show you. So you can't make both of these cards from one kit unless you use fewer stems. But you could do one or the other, because there were enough to do one or the other. So that's just so you know, that's what I did. And I'm going to attach these to the back. Let's see, I did 3 of them, and I'm trying to see which ones I did. I can't remember, so I guess it's not going to look exactly the same. And so I just attached 3 to the back of this. And yes, and then this is going to get dimensionals. And I'll show you, I'm not peeling the dimensional part off yet, because I want to put the others on first. So it's just a matter of placement. And I'm going to just set it on here so I can kind of see where I'm going to want these to go. And these went on flat as well, so that some are flat and some are raised. And that gives it some dimension. And I used 5 of the stems for this card. So like I said, you can't do both cards. And just setting this here helps me see where I want these flat pieces to go. So that one going there will work just fine. And then I think I'll put this one over here. And then you can take your stem from the kit and add some stems. And it's not going to matter if you, because it's going to kind of cover them up, see, like that. You could put some masking down or something as well. So I could bring in a piece of scrap paper or something. Or you could do these first and then just make it work around them. I'm not going to do a bunch. I'm just going to do a few because we're getting kind of out of time here. So then I'll peel these off and we'll get those in there. The new catalog, mini catalog, goes live July 1st. If you're one of my customers, I've already sent your order for your catalog and you should be getting it if you haven't already. It should come out soon, and there's some really lovely things in it that I'm excited to start sharing with you soon. Coming on the heels of, yeah, that's just of the annual catalog. And that's okay, there we go. So there's my little flower pot, and then this is one of the tags from the kit. I stamped it with that same phrase, a little note. Excuse me. Excuse me. Had a tickle for a few days. And stuck that on flat. So there's card number, I think it's 5. And then the last card I did, I used a card, basic white, thick card base. This is the back of this card front. This is the back. So your card base is an A2 card. This one's going to go on here, and it's got a 1/8" border all the way around. Excuse me. Just like that. And then this was cut off of the bottom of the card front that I used for another card. And I'm going to put that on here with dimensionals. Just like this. And it only needs 2. That'll keep it simple. And put that down so it's centered left to right, and I just put it right on the edge of the card below it. And then for this card I also used 5 stems. So like I said, you can only make one or the other, whichever one you like the best. I'm going to put some of them down flat. Here's the original. Put it in the picture here so you can see it. And we're going to just tuck them in there. And one over here. And one in the middle. And I'm going to tuck it down. And do I want to go lower or higher? I think I'm going to go higher because it's going to get covered up anyway. So we'll put it up a little higher. Then these two I'm going to put in with dimensionals. And I'm just going to tuck it in there, and it will look raised up. If it comes through, I'm just going to trim off the extra. Don't worry about that sticking out down below. And we'll stick the other one here. I'm going to just trim off those little stems that are peeking through, just like that, and like that. And then this is one of the tags from the kit, and the Thinking of You, where did I get that from? I think that's in the kit, and yeah, it is. And so I'm stamping it with Calypso Coral onto there, and then this can just go on flat. There's enough to stick it to there that I can just stick it in there just like that. So that is card number 6. That is all of my Paper Pumpkin alternatives for the month of June. So there's 1, 2, 3. I already showed you that one. 4, 5, and 6. I hope you enjoyed my Paper Pumpkin alternatives for the month of June 2022. And that if you aren't a subscriber and you've just come upon this because you're curious, I hope that you would subscribe with me. I'm interested in hearing from you. Leave me a comment about my alternatives and what you thought. And tell me why you subscribe to Paper Pumpkin. Thanks for stopping by. You have a nice day.